contrast to many of the people who are here, I'm not so sure I'm glad to be here. I only have a few comments to make, certainly be very anxious to answer any questions you may have as it relates to the coach and the student-athlete relationship. But my feeling is that the law is the law, and there's no sense doing a lot of rehashing about what has happened. In my business, if you lose a football game and you hang around all week crying about how you lost it, instead of evaluating the current situation and then moving on to handle it, you're going to get licked again. And we could spend a lot of time this morning with everybody giving you educated guesses as to what's going to happen and not really know what we're talking about. All these people are people of good intentions. We've argued for several years now trying to work out a compromise. We now have ourselves in a situation which may force us into a compromise, and that may be good. We may all have to stop worrying about vested interests because our vested interests aren't as vested anymore, and their interests aren't as good anymore. And we may have to now realize that together is our best way of doing things. I am a little bit more concerned about the situation that Congressman Slattery presented. I am worried about the fact that the NCAA, as it is presently constructed, is probably a dinosaur, that we are not facing up to the reality of the world that we are living in now, that there is tremendous pressure on athletes, coaches, institutions for the dollar. I am concerned with the fact that we cannot regulate recruiting, and in my brief tenure on the CFA television committee, which negotiated a contract with NBC 4 years ago, or 2 years ago, 4-year contract, which the CFA members refused to ratify, I insisted in all our negotiations that we do two things. That number one, every institution in the CFA be guaranteed 2 appearances every 4 years and would be guaranteed $1 million for the very fact that the Kansas States had not been on for years and Virginia had not been on television for years. My feeling being that you cannot ask a coach to go into a situation and tell him to win if he does not have some money for facilities and he does not have the opportunity to say to a kid, you're going to have some exposure on television. I have felt very strongly about that, and in my position on the CFA television committee, I advocated, let's give the coach a chance to win honestly. Let's not jump on every young coach at 35 or 36 who goes into a situation where it's impossible to win unless you cheat, unless we start to clean that thing up, give them a different environment, allow them the ability to recruit, allow them the ability to compete. That's all I've ever been concerned about. I think television dollars can be useful and television exposure can be useful if we're enlightened enough to use it to help us eliminate some of the problems we have. And we do it. We have tremendous problems. Enforcement alone is not the answer. We have rules that cannot be enforced. I mean, we're just kidding ourselves that they can be enforced. That means to say, well, you got cheaters in your business. We don't have cheaters in our business. We have people who are literally do not have control over alumni and other people that get involved in their business and cheat for the school without some of our people even being aware of it. So I guess what I'm trying to say without making in the speech I'm making is that we have a situation now that nobody really knows what will happen. It does, I think. Everything that's ever happened to anybody creates problems, but also creates challenges. I think we have a great challenge now as reasonable people who, if we are genuinely concerned with the student athlete and intercollegiate football, have an opportunity to sit down, clear up our differences, and go. And I'll leave you with just the last thought. When we went to Chicago for the NCAA Division I television meeting, I had a meeting with my president, Dr. Jordan. And I said, there are 3 things I want you to know, Dr. Jordan. Number one, we don't want to be hogs. We're not interested in just how much we can get out of this for Penn State football, because we don't want to be hogs. We're not interested in getting every dollar. And I want to say that the University of Notre Dame, which has been could have made more money than anybody, has constantly, Father Joyce and Gene Corrigan, our athletic director, have constantly echoed the same thing. Second thing I said, we're not going out there in fear. We're not going out there with the idea we're going to react to everything. And the third thing I said, and the one that probably made the most sense, was college football is too good, means too much to everybody, that we can screw it up in 1 year. All right? And we've got a 1-year arrangement right now, and I probably would be more happy to be at this session if it were a year from now, because I think maybe we could help you a little bit more with what you're looking for. Thank you.